I need to kill the rest of them? Okay, maybe I did. Oi! Is it just you, my friend? It was. Right. Let's just do the puzzle, shall we? I can't remember which one I need to do. I think it's just that. That's boring. That's not a real puzzle.
See? That wasn't so hard.
What do you mean so hard? It wasn't hard at all. It was pull one then the other. Not even trying. Yoink.
There it was. Skyripper's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway. The device was intricate. No one alive had the skill to make a thing like it. How was it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece. Skyripper had a heart. A core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him.
Right. But she's got an exclamation mark, which means that she's probably the next bit of truth we need. Or we'll find it here. Let's go and see her.
Renato asked himself why he changed course to confront Zenobia. He'd no idea. Sometimes he would just do things, and he could never figure out why he'd done them. Usually, they worked out. After all, he was a hero. The truth is, though, he wanted to see her, wasn't it? It had been a dozen years since Swordfu School. He'd followed every rumor about her, every scrap of news. Not that he still loved her. After all, she was his enemy. No, it was solely because know your enemy. But it would be great to see her. Even if they faced off across sword points, as they'd done so many times at school. The world was a less interesting place without her.
Current objective, see Zenobia. And the animation's slightly off. You stab the sword slightly higher than you should. Hello, music. Just a bit more active than I thought you'd be. A bit more brassy.
That is how we do it, said Renato to himself.
This is just treasure, eh? I don't need your treasure. I need your progress. Can I? No. I'm just trying to get through as quickly as possible. Ooh. There's ravens over there. Not that I'm not enjoying this. It's just again, I'm starting to feel tired. I'm in the middle of a run. I want to finish this before advancing if I can.
Ooh, Renato loved to improve his gear.
Nothing that way. Can't level. We have got a lot of ore. I wonder if we're going to come across some work thing. Workbench. Bye bye, Raven. I'm surprised that the ravens don't fly. Perfect. I didn't take any damage somehow. Apparently, that was only style good. I don't know. Maybe that's average. Maybe that's maybe that's the best, which is the opposite of average. Well, no, not really. Let's grab on your sword.
Sword from the mystical east could make time itself slow for you.
Now open other doors. Oh, there's a door right here. That's dash. Let's rush through, see what happens through here. Probably a big fight that will kill us. Or puzzly stuff.
He was sort of yanking his own chain, wasn't he?
Yay. Level up shield breaker. Is that the one I've got equipped? It might be. Actually. Yes. Otherwise it'd tell me, you have a new gem thing you can use. Wait, what? Where am I meant to go then? This way? Ah.
He couldn't do worse with Zenobia than he'd done with the core, could he?
I don't know. You can jump down. Ooh, this is different now that we don't have Lapino. There's a thing under here.
He was practically sure he'd find something useful in one of these things.
Energy on kill. Right, okay.
Renato wasn't entirely sure how he was going to capture Zenobia. She'd be expecting him. And he didn't have Lapino to cook up a clever plan. Why was it again that he hadn't got the core? Maybe because the results tended to be disastrous. These streets were familiar. The Swordfu School was closed now, but he had been down that street 1,000 times. He knew that pub. He knew that alley. He knew the alley behind it much too well. No wonder Zenobia had chosen to invade this island herself.
Okay, what interesting things have we got? We now have a level 2 energy on. Actually, we'll grab that rather than the equipment one. Now that we've got all the swords, don't need to worry about things too much.
It was time for a little exploration.
Oh dear. Okay, are you the last one? Yes. Good. The next letter. Dear Zenobia, as you read this letter, you're locked in your chambers, ready to spend your last night before... Well, you know. I will not apologize. I know you are too proud to forgive me. I also know you won't resist reading through. You are a cat, as much as I have tried to educate you like a proper toad. I swear to you, and you have to believe me, that I did not plan all this when I adopted you. You have always been my special little kitten. Oh. You're going to sacrifice her. This is why I'm writing this now, weeks in advance. I know I will not have the heart to do it the night of the sacrifice. If I think of you as my daughter then, I may change my mind. You must think I am selfish. And yes, I am selfish. Sad little toad. A selfish, sad little toad that is afraid to die. But what I am doing will ultimately serve the greater good. I want the power. I want it all, and so I will keep my subjects content. Peace for eternity. Even if you hate me now, you can still respect that. You have to. It is the only way I can forgive myself for doing this to you. I will miss you for eternity. Tomorrow, try not to make a scene. Everyone will be watching. Still with love, Father. Yes, because sacrificing your daughter is love.
Jewel. Renato couldn't wait to find a workbench.
I'm not going to use it. I should probably just... Yes, I know I have gems. Otherwise it might just always be green the next time I go past another one. I have no idea what's going on at this point. Voila! Now, she's not that far into the sewer, is she? If memory serves, there's a ship. There we go.
Renato slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. Where were her guards? Finally, he reached her bedroom. She was curled up on her bed. Oh, he'd forgotten how beautiful she was. How sleek. How soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She vanished. And he suddenly noticed he couldn't move except his mouth. In fact, soon he couldn't keep his mouth shut. He told Zenobia everything. Sky Ripper, the Iblastone, even where the secret rebel base was, until he was hoarse. It was some kind of truth spell. A talky truth spell. She called her father by Farspeaker Toad and filled His Majesty in. But why didn't he get the core? Croaked the Farspeaker in something like His Majesty's croak. Because I missed you, darling. Renato grinned. He doesn't even know why, frowned Zenobia. That makes no sense. It's a trap, shouted the Emperor. I'll meet you at the outpost, and I'll bring my interrogators. If Renato came face to face with the Emperor, maybe he could assassinate him. But maybe it would be smarter and safer to turn Zenobia against her father.
Well, the latter, clearly. Okay, so I'm guessing that Farspeaker Toad, because that's what it said in Zenobia's voice, basically a phone? Guessing. Renado's irrational decision to find Zenobia after collecting the Skyripper's armature turned out to be a disaster, but maybe he could salvage the situation. He could try and turn Zenobia against her father. He could show her evidence of the Emperor's madness, but they would need to pay a visit to the scientists on the Nexus.
What are you doing?
Or the letter we just Zenobia picked up.
Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? He asked her. She shook her head. He told her. His Majesty wanted to bring the lost gods back. They could make him an eater of souls, an immortal. But to seal his bargain with them, he needed a sacrifice. Someone who truly loved him. She was stunned. Furious. You're lying.
I have the letter.
A true spell? It's a trick. You can't prove that. Take me to the observatory, and I will.
What about the letter we just picked up? Forged. Alright, fair enough. Right, so this is pretty much going to be the same thing as I think the first run through, actually. Quite possibly.
What kind of proof could you possibly have? She said as they landed on the Nexus. Your father ritually sacrificed a village, and he left witnesses? The scientists resurrected one. Well, it's not really alive, but it can talk. A true witness. She frowned. The dead can't lie. Well, I bet they could. They just don't have any reason to. She nodded grimly. You go on ahead. I don't want the Ravens to see me.
Right. Onwards do I go?
Sometimes. All you know is what you know. You know?
Am I meant to go on this one? Or is this going to give me treasure? I don't know. It's going to give me a fight, isn't it? Oh no. Oh, that was a fight before. Yeah, we've been here before. I may have been missing out and skipping out a lot of treasure. But I mean, we've got all the swords, so we can open all the doors, and I'm not really using my special abilities that much other than heal. strange after kind of the last one where I had Skyripper helping me out. Now to have to do all this stuff myself. Do all the damage yourself. Keep the count. Combo building. Aha! What did I get? 48. I got past 48. You lie.
What else could you hook?
Captain? That made no sense.
She caught up with him. Don't you think I'd know if my father wanted to invoke the Lost Gods? Would he tell you? No. Would you help him? No. I'd burn his books. Why'd he adopt a stray cat? You don't ask a thing like that. No, not when there's no good answer. She said, her whiskers twitching.
Aww. What if you like cats? I mean, some people prefer cats to dogs. I'm kind of on the fence on that, actually. I don't know. Depends on the cat, depends on the dog. I know some people prefer dogs just because they're dogs. I know some people prefer cats just because they're cats and not dogs.
The mysterious sword from the east made you so fast you could catch a fly with your chopsticks. If that's what you really wanted.
Why would you want to catch a fly with chopsticks? That's just really strange. It makes no sense. Ah, it's this one. Okay.
Energy cannons.
Ouch.
The last argument of kings.
This is a terrible plan, isn't it? Oh no, it's working. Oh, that last one nearly hit me. I'm legitimately just hammering the button at this point. Thank you for standing right next to me. It does make it easier for me to kill you. There we go, got 50. I wonder what my highest combo's been in this.
He was in a swirl of newly remembered knowledge. He needed to focus.
Yeah, so I'm assuming, I'm hoping that at some point there's a little stats thing, maybe at the end, there's a little stats thing saying this was how many, this was your highest combo and kind of stuff like that. Your average style was good or mediocre.
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The ravens had burned the reanimated witness to cinders. Renato was stunned. There goes my proof. These were scientists, not rebels, Zenobia said, upset. Why would he do this?
The
I
aforementioned
don't know.
proof.
Let's go to the fleet and ask him. Yes. I'll meet you on the mountains. There's something I have to get first. But could he afford to meet her in the mountains? He'd given the Empire the location of the secret rebel base. They would need rescuing.
Ronaldo finally turned Zenobia against their adopted father, the Emperor, but the rebel base was still in grave danger due to him spilling all the rebel secrets. Whatever Zenobia was up to, he was too invested to leave her to her own devices. Whatever Zenobia was up to, saving the rebel base was the top priority. Let's go to the mountains.
Why was he going to meet up with her? Wasn't it more important to rescue the rebel council from the almost certain Imperial attack?
Yeah, because one
Why
man's going to
was
make
he
a
in this
difference.
war anyway? Was it really to fight the good fight, or did he just want to see her again? One of these days, Renato thought I should really figure out my motives before I pounce. Nah.
But then again, ... brain stopped working. Yeah, I mean, what could one fox do against a horde of ravens? I mean, obviously we're seeing an awful lot, considering magical swords and whatnot, but if it's his full army, his full fleet,